Students, in our today's online session, here we will uh, talk about, or we will discuss about the major literary term sonnet, and this is a part of unit 5th of your part 1st of English literature in MGSU Bikaner. So let's begin with our today's term sonnet. So first of all, you must know that what is a sonnet. A sonnet is a poem containing 14 lines. So basically, the very basic definition of sonnet is that a sonnet is a piece of poetry that contains 14 lines. And in English, it is written in a complicated rhyme scheme, and the sonnet is unique among poetic forms in Western literature in that it has retained its appeal for major poets for 5 centuries. And the form seems to have originated in the 30th century among the Silicon school of court poets who were influenced by the love poetry of provincial troubadours. From there, it spread to Tuscany, where it reached its highest expression in the 14th century in the poems of Petrarch. So, the form sonnet was developed in Italy. It was one of the favorite poetic forms of Dante and Petrarch. These are the famous philosophers of Italy, and and Petrarch, who was the uh, on whose name the sonnet from Petrarchan sonnet was developed, and that this form remains one of the two principal sonnet forms, as well as one most widely used. One is the Petrarchan sonnet, and the other major form is the English or Shakespearean sonnet. So if we talk about the word sonnet, it is derived from the Italian word sonetto, which means a little sound or strain. And as you already know that there are two major types of sonnets, Petrarchan sonnet and the other one is English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet. The Petrarchan sonnet characteristically treats its theme in two parts. The first, as I have already told, that it is divided in it contains 14 lines, that the first 8 lines is known as the octave, that state a problem or ask a question or express an emotional tension, and the remaining last 6 lines are uh, um, called as the sestet, that resolve the problem or answer the question which was earlier put in the octave part, and here insisted we find the answer of the question or relieve the tension. So the octave is rhymed A B B A B B A, that contains 8 lines. The rhyme scheme of the sestet varies. It may be CDE, CDE, CDC, CDC, or CDE, DCE. Okay, so it varies. The Petrarchan sonnet became a major influence on European poetry. It soon became naturalized in Spain, Portugal, and France, and was introduced to Poland also, whence it spread to other Slavic literatures. In most cases, the form was adapted to the staple meter of the language, that is the Alexandrine. Alexandrine means 12 syllable iambic line in France and iambic pentameter in English. So that Italian sonnet is that known as the Petrarchan sonnet. The first form of sonnet is known as the Italian or Petrarchan sonnet, that contains 14 lines falling into groups of 8 lines, that is known as octave, and the 6 lines group is known as the sestet. Okay, and the rhyme scheme as I discussed earlier. And the other form of sonnet, that is English or Shakespearean sonnet, it was introduced to England along with other Italian verse forms by Sir Thomas Yat and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, in the 16th century. The new forms precipitated the great Elizabethan flowering of lyric poetry, and the period marks the peak of the sonnet's English popularity, which was during the Elizabethan age. In the course of adapting the Italian form to a language less rich in rhymes, the Elizabethans gradually arrived at the distinctive English sonnet, which is composed of 3 quatrains, each having an independent rhyme scheme, and is ended with a rhymed couplet. So here the English sonnet, the form English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet is different from Petrarchan sonnet regarding with its composition. The English sonnet has 3 quatrains, while we have two stanza form in Petrarchan sonnet, that is one is octave and the other one is sestet. But here in English sonnet we have 3 quatrains, and one quatrain is of 4 lines. Each quatrain contains 4 lines, and remaining 2 lines are called as couplet. So couplet is a group of 2 lines. So this is the structure of a Shakespearean or English sonnet. And if we talk about the rhyme scheme of English sonnet, that is A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. This is the rhyme scheme pattern of Shakespearean sonnet. Its greater number of rhymes makes it a less demanding form than the Petrarchan sonnet, but this is offset by the difficulty presented by the couplet, which must summarize the impact of the preceding quatrains with the compressed force of a Greek epigram. So, as you have understood that the basic difference between the Petrarchan sonnet and the English sonnet, that is in terms of its structure and rhyme scheme. Okay, students, now here we have an example of English sonnet which is written by William Shakespeare. Let me note the marriage of true minds. It is one of the most popular sonnets of by Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. Let me note to the marriage of true minds. Admit impediments, love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. So this is the first quatrain having the rhyme scheme of A B A B. Now proceeding ahead, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose words unknown although his height be taken. So this is the other quatrain, and its rhyme scheme is C D C D. Now further, love's no times fool though rosy. Love's no times fool, though rosy lips and cheeks, within his blending sickles compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. So cheeks with rhymes with the word weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. So here the word doom rhymes with the earlier ending word of earlier line, come, doom, come. So the rhyme scheme is of the third quatrain is E F E F, and the concluding couplet is like this: if this be error and upon me proved, I never read her, no man ever loved. So here the rhyme, the last, these two last line of the couplet rhymes like easy, GG. So, the typical Elizabethan use of the sonnet was in a sequence of love poems in the manner of Petrarch. Although each sonnet was an independent poem, partly conventional in content and partly self revelatory, the sequence had the added interest of providing something of a narrative development. Among the notable Elizabethan sequences are Sir Philip Sidney's famous sonnet sequence entitled as Astrophel and Stella, which was written in 1591. Samuel Daniel's Delia, which was written in 1592. Michael Drayton's sonnet sequences Ideas Mirror, which were written in 1594. And Edmund Spenser's popular sonnet sequence was Amority, which was written in 1591. So the last named work uses a common variant of the sonnet known as a Spenserian that follows the English quatrain and couplet pattern but resembles the Italian in using a linked rhyme scheme. So the Edmund Spenser's work Amority is known as Spenserian sonnet, and it does follow the English quatrain and couplet pattern, but it resembles with the Petrarchan sonnet in terms of its rhyming scheme, that is A B A B, B C B C, C D C D, E E E. So this is the slightest difference here. Perhaps the greatest of all sonnet sequences Shakespeare's addressed to a young man and a dark lady. So this is the famous sonnet sequence. In these sonnets, the supposed love story is of less interest than the underlying reflections on time and art, growth and decay, and fame and fortune. Even during the Romantic era, in spite of the emphasis on freedom and spontaneity, the sonnet forms continued to challenge major poets. Many English writers during this Romantic era, including William Wordsworth, John Keats, and Elizabeth Barrett Browning, continued to write Petrarchan sonnets. One of the best known examples of this in English is William Wordsworth's sonnet, The World is Too Much with Us. In the later 19th century, the love sonnet sequence was revived by Elizabeth Barrett Browning in her sonnet sequence titled as Sonnets from the Portuguese, which was written in 1850, and by Dante Gabriel Rossetti in The House of Life, which was written in 1876. The most distinguished 20th century work of this kind is Rainer Maria Rilke's Sonnet and Orpheus, which was written in 1922. As far as the theme of sonnet is concerned, there are no fixed subjects. However, Shakespeare had limited its theme to love. In Milton's hands, the scope of this form of poetry was widened. It almost included everything, we can say. So this is all about one of the most important literary device, that is sonnet. So that's for all today. We will meet again in our next session. Thank you.